I would have been a whole different world. Yeah, wait, I freaked out. Like, absolutely now. Yeah, this book has no stuff. Like, that's creative. Let's just say that, like, that's creative. Ah, is it fantasy as well? That was so cool. I love that. Woo! We're actually gonna have to deal with this because I cannot keep moving. I'm like up, down, side to side. It's crazy. So the thing is, I feel like I look really dark. Do I look dark? I feel dark. This is me moving you for like the trillionth time, and it probably making that made no difference. It probably made me look worse. No. I'm gonna get the ring light. I'm getting the ring light. Oh my god. See, that's a lot better, but I have a feeling you can now see the ring light in my... You can see them in my glasses. That's fine. It's not like it's annoying me or anything. I've had such a funny day. And my music's still playing. We have guests. We have a Brecken. We have a Nala. You can't see Nala, but you can see her ass. So you have to excuse that my bed is not made because they got on it and now they're not moving. They won't get off to let me make it. So you're gonna have to ignore that. Anyway, let's actually start this video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Eilidh, and if you're not, then hello, it is good to see you again. Oh my god, it's our first wrap up of the year. I'm so excited. We started off this year pretty good. We have read 11 books in January, which, to be fair, isn't that bad. I'm actually really proud of myself. So I want to go through every single one of the books that I read this month, what I rated them, how I felt, this and that. I'm going to try and not talk too long about it because I also want to go through my February TBR and just combine both videos together, because I was thinking about doing like 2 separate videos for them, but I was like, no, I'm just going to put it in one. So that's what we're doing. But without further ado, let's just jump into my first book of 2025, and that was Cruel Seduction by Kate Roberts. Oh my days, this is, what book number is this? This is the 5th book in the Dark Olympus series, and I was binging this series the beginning of the year. Like, I finished the series, I finished the year with the 4th book of this series, and I started this year on the 5th book of the series, and I've been obsessed with the Dark Olympus series. If you don't know what the Dark Olympus series is, it is basically Greek mythology retelling, but spun into like a dark romance shenanigan. Like, there is so much plot. It's, well, not like so much plot, but there is like a plot. There is a main like problem going through each of the books, but the only difference is in each one of the books you are following a different couple. So it is, you should actually read the books in order, or you're gonna like mix up like the politics and like the drama that is happening if you don't follow the order. So if you are gonna start it, definitely do, because I've been loving seeing like all of the couples and everyone together. And Kate Robert has a little bit of a spin on things, so it's not like obviously the traditional Greek mythology story. It's the names and some of the story, but she's put her own like spin on things, which I really like. And it also is modernized as well, which is cute. So Cruel Intentions was about Aphrodite and, oh my god, I'm gonna have to try and say his name. Hephaestus? Hephaestus? I think that's how you say his name. And also Pandora and Adonis. So yeah, love it. So I gave this one a 4 stars. Actually, I really enjoyed this one. It had like arranged marriage in it as well, and enemies to lovers, and just like jealousy and mind games, and yeah, so cute. I then read Midnight Ruin, which is the 6th book in the series, and this one is based on Eurydice. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to try and say your name. Eurydice? I want to say Eurydice. That's what I want to say. That's how it's spelled, but it's not said like that. I think it's Eurydice, something like that. Eurydice, something like that. Then you've also got Orpheus and Charon as well. So yeah, this is another, like, I don't know how to describe this book. Kind of like Bodyguard sort of thing to it. So Eurydice went through Eurydice, whatever her name is, I cannot say her name, went through something traumatic in the first book of this series, Neon Gods, and has been staying with her sister, which is Persephone, and Charon has been like her security bodyguard ever since, and so things are happening with that. Orpheus is obviously the ex-boyfriend of her as well, and there was just so much happening within this book. And also this is when the plot and the politics started to thicken in this series. Like, this is when we really got into it. And I gave this one a 4 stars as well. I really don't know how to like describe this book's in trope wise. I don't know. Well, the back says like, I ran to the underworld to find the lost pieces of myself. Instead, I found him. It was cute. I loved reading it. I was like, oh, and Orpheus is a painter as well. So they got creative. Let's just say that they got creative. I then obviously went on, oh no, I didn't read this one next. I didn't. I did a audiobook next. I didn't realise I did an audiobook next. Okay. We then listened to Little Stranger, because I did this for my audiobooks versus reading video, where I tried audiobooks for a week instead of reading the books and seeing if I like preferred that. And oh my god, this book had me gagged. I could not take this book seriously. I was like, what is going on? Every like 10 seconds. It was so intense. It was like, ah. And I think listening to it as well, so you're missing nothing. Like, you are getting every single detail there possibly is. And also like the acting within it as well, like chef's kiss, loved it. But it felt so much more dramatic than what I would probably experience when reading. Like, I was in a whole different world listening to this book. And so it's about, oh my god, it's about a brother and a sister, okay, but hold on, wait, let me explain. So they're both adopted, so they're not related in any sort of way, like gene wise, like they don't have the same blood or anything. They are both adopted by the same couple, and they were adopted a little bit older, I think. So I think they weren't like babies, they haven't like grown up with each other in that sort of sense, but they were like, I know she was a child, I know the female in this was a child, but he was always a little bit older. And it's a dark romance. He's obviously a sociopath. He is obsessed with her, and he's obsessed with her, and literally it's like there's a stalker in it, there's kidnapping, there's like, if you think about dark romance, like this is dark romance. Like this, it was crazy. It was crazy. I gave it 4 stars though. I had so much fun with it. I was like, this is mental. This is like, what is going on? But I still gave it 4 stars. I was debating on whether or not to give it a 5. I was like, no, because sometimes like it did make me so uncomfortable, because I'm like, brother and sister, like you call each other that. It was messed up. So messed up. But anyway, I then went on and I read Dark Restrain? Yeah, Dark Restrain, which is the 7th book in the Dark Olympus series. So I have now finished all of the published books of this series. I am now waiting on, so I think there's going to be 10 books in total. Then there's one between them. So we've got another 3 to go, and they haven't been released yet, but I know some of them are being released. I think 2 are getting released this year and 1's getting released next year. But I knew that I just wanted to get through the series now, because then when the new ones come out, I can just go on and straight read the new ones. But this one was about Ariadne and the Minotaur. Is it the Minotaur or the Minotaur? I think it's the Minotaur. So funny, this book is, we're following the characters that are the enemies of Olympus. So even when we were like reading about the Olympus people in these books, this is about the enemies of these guys. So it was so crazy, because then we were on like the other side of the battle, and I really enjoyed that bit. But like this whole book, I didn't enjoy it as much, because we were only introduced to these characters maybe like a few books ago, so I wasn't like really into them. And I think at this point I really wanted to read about like Zeus and Hera, because we've been hearing about them every time. So when I realised that it was about the Minotaur, or the Minotaur, whatever his name is, I was like, why? But it was cute. It was cute. It was fine. Like, it was another, like, he falls first, obsessed. Like, I think there was a virgin trope in this as well. And it was another, like, he was stalking her. And he is, like, the most morally grey person ever. But it did lead into the next book, which I'm really excited for, which is Icarus and Poseidon, actually. And this one left off on a little cliffhanger for their one. And so I am really excited for the next book. But yeah, this one I only gave a 3 stars. It's not my favourite, but still worth a read because I generally do think the rest of the series is going to be chef's kiss. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited for it. I love Greek mythology retellings, and especially when it's in a dark romance. Like, you can't go wrong with it. Anyway, then we listened to another audiobook, and this one is actually only available on audio, and that is Ali Hazelwood's Two Can Play. This book surprised me. This isn't very long at all. I think it only took me like 2.5 hours to listen to in total. I do listen to my audiobooks in like 1.4x, something like that. Or I just find that they're talking really, really slowly, because in my brain I read quite quickly. Like, I can't listen to it slow. I will just get really, really bored. So yeah, this book didn't take me that long. It probably only took me 2.5 hours, maybe 3. And I wasn't in love with it at the start. I didn't really understand the whole concept of where the book was. I generally did have to like look at the blurb again while I was listening to it. But then it did shock me, and it was cute. It was like one of the sweet like rom-com. They're both video players who work in big video game companies that are rivals to each other. They've known each other for years, and she always thought that he hated her, but he obviously never did. He was always secretly in love with her, like that sort of thing. And you're following them over a weekend of them being like in forced proximity with each other, and then like feelings are confessed and push comes to shove, you know what happens. Would I have liked this book to be something that I could have read and it being a little bit longer and hearing like what happens after, like because they were on this retreat to try and like work out issues between their teams? It was like a whole thing. Yes, I think I would have preferred it that way. And it was also only narrated by one narrator, and it was female. And I think because it was just a book you can listen to, you can't read it, I feel like it should have been narrated by more than one person. I feel like it should have had like an actual cast and it be more in depth that way, because there was just sometimes when she was doing Jesse the guy's dialogue, I was like, this doesn't sound right. I was like, I don't think this works. But I got over myself and it's fine. And I ended up giving the book a 3 stars. Like, I would recommend it. I would be like, it's cute, it's simple, especially like I would listen to it like whenever, when I was doing my makeup, when I was in the shower, when I was editing, because it was so easy to listen to. And even if like I got distracted for a little bit, I could come back and I kind of knew exactly what was then happening in the scene. It wasn't like I had to skip back and pay attention to it. So it was good in that sort of sense. So I would recommend it for that. But like if you're wanting like a really good audiobook, I wouldn't recommend it then. Like I wouldn't say I really, really enjoyed it to like be like, you have to read or you have to listen to this. No. Anyway, then I got into a bit of I need to read all of these series that I'm in the middle of, that I need to get through, I need to do. And after I finished doing the Dark Olympus, I was like, right, I need another series that I'm in the middle of that I haven't read in ages. I don't think I'm going to do for videos, that I just need to get through like now. And that was the Kings of Sin series. So I picked up King of Pride. Just out of the blue. I was like, yeah, let's just do it. Like, this is what I've got, let's just read it. And I kind of miss me at the beginning of the year, because I was so determined to like whiz through books. I don't know where that has gone. I generally don't know where it's gone. I just haven't really been reading as much as I did at the beginning of the year. Like, the most of these books I read at the beginning of the year. Not gonna lie, like in the first like 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks of the year, I haven't really read that much. But we read King of Pride, and again, this was another one that actually shocked me. I gave it a 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. It's another billionaire romance, and it's kind of like the forbidden love aspect, because the guy in this who was Kai, and you had Isabella. Kai is like British, like his family is like old money, like they have a reputation to uphold, so he has to date a certain type. He cannot date Isabel, who has the blue hair, that works in the club that he goes to, that he's a part of, because there's you can't fornicate with the bar staff or like with anybody in there, like you can't cross the things. And anyway, they did, and they became obsessed with each other. So both of their best friends are married, so they obviously like have mutual friends and they do things and they knew each other, but like he was always a little bit obsessed with her. Like he was always like a little bit more intrigued with her, but she was like, no, because we can't do that. And she's a little bit of a wild card as well, and I really liked reading that, because Kai was not. Kai was just so like collected and like stuck at what he was doing, you know? So seeing him loosen up and go to like downtown and do the balloon popping painting thing, you know, it was literally referenced. It was referenced from Princess Diaries, you know, when they had like the darts and they had like the balloons on the canvas and you would throw the dart, pop the balloon, and then like paint would splatter. They did that. That was so cool. I loved that. And it was cute. It says at the top, she's his opposite in every way and the greatest temptation he's ever known. So it was like opposites attract thing, and I really enjoyed it. It was cute. I love a billionaire romance. Like I love it. It's my thing. It's my calling. It's my way. I gave it a 4. I then went on and read the next one in the series, which is King of Greed. I just went bosh one, bosh other, and this is when I was literally devouring them in like 2 days. Guys, I kid you not, I was reading so quickly. I was getting through so many books at the beginning of the year. I don't know where it's gone. Like I don't actually know what happened to me. No, I know what happened to me. I know exactly what happened to me, but I can't talk about it. Oh my days. Anyway, King of Greed, we read this, and it had a divorce in it. So they were already married. So we were following, what's her name? What's her face? Alessandra and shit, what's his name? Dominic and Alessandra. So they met in college, they were dating, they got married. Dominic then like started up his business. He's like the Wall Street king. He's so rich now. He's like the top of his game. But when he met Alessandra in college, like they were the lowest of the low, like no money, nothing. He was working so many jobs, like she was tutoring him, and they just went on this amazing journey together. And now Dominic is like so high, Alessandra's like living the life. But with that comes a lot of hardship. So she felt like he had forgotten her, like their marriage was in the pit. He was always forgetting things, like forgetting their 10-year anniversary. And it was just one thing after another. So she decided that she was not having it anymore and wanted a divorce. And they got divorced. And Dominic lost his shit. And I have never seen a man grovel and like put in so much effort to get his woman back, to the point where he was going to sacrifice his career, sacrifice this business he had built for them just to get her back, because he had to lose her to realize how much she meant to him and how like valuable she was, when actually in fact he should have known that anyway. Like he shouldn't have made her feel like she was worthless and not important and forgettable. Like, no, she probably felt so lonely as well. So this book, most of it took place on them being separated, Dominic trying to win back Alexandra, but Alexandra trying to find herself. So she started up her own businesses. She became friends with a lot of other people. She spent more time with her family and like just found value in her life again, because she was so focused on being there for Dominic and helping him build his career that she kind of lost herself a little bit. And you just kind of watch that, and you watch them fall back in love with each other. You watch them rediscover who they are and the importance of life again, and just appreciating the little things as well. So even though I didn't like the concept of like how Alexandra was treated at the beginning of the book, we needed to like see that and go through that with her, because then the changes Dominic makes and the changes he does for her just kind of makes you, it was just cute. It was cute, and it was like you generally saw him struggle and him like try everything he possibly can to win back the love of his life and make her believe that. And now they're living the life together. They are living their life together, and it's cute. So it says at the top, he had her, he lost her, and he will do anything to win her back. It was good. I gave this one a 3 stars though. I didn't love it as much. I generally think I didn't love it as much just because of like the beginning and some of that sort of stuff, and then I think it was kind of like on off. But when they started like dating again, like going on their first date and like doing all of that sort of stuff, then I started to enjoy it. But it took me a little bit to start enjoying it and actually rooting for the characters. But yeah, that one. I then read a Kindle read, which is actually, was it my first Kindle? I think this must have been my first Kindle of the year, and that was Take Her Soul, which is a paranormal, dark romance, chaotic book. Like, I have never found a book so enjoyable but also so uncomfortable in my entire life. Like, in my entire, there was times where I was like kicking my feet and doing things, but then other times I was like, I feel like I'm gonna be sick right now because of like what's going on, you know? It was crazy. It had like murder mystery in it, there was like cults in it, there was obviously demons and witches and plots and like death and just fights and gore and like a protective, obsessed MMC and a fiery, stubborn FMC. It's the first in the series, but I think each book is a standalone. I'm pretty sure. But like they all, I think it's either they all revolve around the same like couple of days or like couple of months. I actually have no idea how long like the book went on for. Like, I don't know. But it's either around the same time. I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm pretty sure we have met all of the other characters. Yeah, this book had me like shocked. Like, she is a YouTuber who goes to like haunted places to try and like find ghosts and do things. And she went to this abandoned church and ended up summoning a demon. And then that demon fell in love with her and wanted her soul, but she was like, no. But then had like these creature things chasing after her and doing things and like trying to kill her and take her. And like this cult also like trying to get her and take her. And then our main demon lover boy was like, if you sell me your soul, then I'll protect you. And she was like, no. And then he was like, oh. But goes off protecting her anyway. Like, yeah. It was one of those books. But I really enjoyed it. It was cute. I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, there were definitely times where I did feel a little bit like uncomfortable just because of like me being a Christian and reading about demons and like them talking about gods and powers and stuff, and I was like, I know this is fiction. I know this is fiction and it's not real and it's like somebody's imagination and they've created it and it's supposed to be enjoyed. It's supposed to be like a bit of fun. But there was just some talks of things, some discussions of things, like they were saying stuff and I was like, this doesn't sit right with me. Like, this, as a Christian girly, I love my Lord, I love my Jesus, but this doesn't sit right with me. So that's why I didn't give it a 5. But I did give it a 4 because I did enjoy it. It was fun. It was a bit of fun. And then I went on and read another Kindle book. And oh my god, guys, do I want to devour the rest of this series. I can't believe I haven't done it already. I started reading the Zodiac Academy. The first one being called The Awakening. I gave it 4 stars. What the hell was this book? Like, this book had me on a chokehold the whole time. I had no idea what was going on. I kind of felt at the beginning of the book it was given like Wattpad, like, oh, they like have all of the powers, like they're the missing twins, they're like princesses and stuff, and like this and that and blah blah blah. But then like the heirs came in and we got to know the heirs, and then all of the shit that they put the girls through, oh my lord. And then the tension, like Professor Oron, what was going on with him and Darcy? I'm sorry, what was that about? And then like Caleb as well. I was obsessed with Caleb. I loved when Caleb came in because he was like a she's mine type guy. Like, you do not take Tori like that. No, no, no. But then like Darius, like what's his problem? Like what's it like that? I have so many questions about this book, and I know if I carry on reading the series those questions will be answered. And it's also saying it's a romantasy as well, but there were so many like different like possibilities or ways that the author could go. I was like, I don't even know. And then my answer didn't even get questioned. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. My question then didn't even get answered at the end of the book. I was like, what the hell? Honestly, turmoil, like crazy, absolutely crazy, but loved it, gave it 4 stars. Will definitely read the rest of the series. But I knew that if I read the next book straight away, I wasn't going to read any other book until I'd read them all. And I swear it was like 12 books. Like there's so many books. Like, why is there so, what is going to happen? Like, why is there so many? But I'm also really excited for it. and kind of just want to binge it. Who knows, I might be doing that in February. Who knows? Anyway, gave that 4 stars. And then we moved on to Belladonna. Oh my days, this book was so good. So good. Murder mystery, death, paranormal. She sees spirits. Like, I loved it. I actually loved it so much that I went out and got the next one straight away. Needed it straight away. Like, this book was not exactly what I expected it to be. Like, I didn't think it was going to be like a murder mystery, like her finding a spirit of her dead aunt and trying to find out if she was murdered, if she was not, and trying to then save her cousin who like had the same thing as her mother. But then also our main character, whose name was Signa, also discovering that she can literally use the power of death. And Death is a hot man. I would say that he is fine. And then going on like a little like adventure with each other, but also like there's the enemies to lovers thing as well. And Signa can't die. If she tries to die, all she does is like summon death, and then she can see and talk to death. I also have like my theories about some of the things as well, but I think I need to read the second book to see if I'm right or not. So I don't want to say, but it was gothic. So it says here, Belladonna brings to life a romantic, gothic infused world of wealth, desire and betrayal. The betrayal in this, what the hell, didn't see that coming. I was shocked. And I also listened to part of this on the audiobook. I think it's on Spotify. And I read some of that. Author on that, bloody amazing. So good. One girl, like one narrator, one woman, loved her voice. Like, this is based in England as well, so she had a British accent and I loved that. I was like, oh, I can understand you. Like, crystal clear, perfect. And then when she was like talking as like Death and then the other man in this, who, my days, I have a crush on, who works with horses. Of course I'm gonna have a crush on him. Like, what a man. Yeah, I became obsessed with this book. I only gave it 4 stars though. I don't know why I didn't give it 5. I just don't think I got the 5-star feeling. But I was obsessed. I was, and I have nothing else left to say. Anyway, the last book I read was Dawn of the Nox. I'm pretty sure that's how you say this word. I don't know. I've been guessing the entire time. I filmed a whole ask video reading this book, and I've said Onox the whole time. So if I'm wrong, sue me. I don't even care. I gave this one a 4 stars. Again, for some reason I thought this had the marriage trope in it. It doesn't have the marriage trope in it. Don't be fooled. But for some reason I thought it did. It wasn't. It was a prisoner king. Like, it had fae in it, and war, and just enemies enemying to lovers. To like, I think he falls first. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I would say he falls first. And dragons. You can't forget about the dragons. This was another 4 stars. I'm excited to read the rest of the series. I think there's 3 books in total. I'm not sure. I'm not dying to read the next one, but I know I definitely will come around to reading the next one. I will just have to buy it. And if I buy it and put it on my bar cart, like my TBR cart, I know I then will read it. But this took me a while to read, and I'm actually really excited and really happy that I've read it and will continue with the series, because the way that this one ended, like, what? And some of the things that came to light, like the actual portrayal in it, like the lies came out. They came out. And part of me was like, I didn't want to read it. I generally got so scared. I was like, no, I'm not going through this. Not going through this right now. But at the back it says, captured by the king of darkness, forced to find the light within. It was definitely morally grey. He was 100% morally grey. But loved it. I wish I saw more of him morally grey. There was some like moments of him being morally grey. But the girl like became really scared of him. And I was like, girl, if he did that in front of me, I would be like, wow, he loves me. Like, he did all of that to protect me. Like, I wouldn't be going running off from him. I'll be like, no, I'm staying with you because I know you're not going to hurt me, but you'll hurt anyone else that tries to hurt me. Like, that's where I will be. Like, that makes the most logical sense. Like, why didn't she do that? So that really pissed me off. But then I was like, also fair. Like, fair. Kind of get you. But not what I would do. No. Yeah, but I gave that a 4. And these were all the books that I read. Oh, I can't pick them up now. That's not good. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not gonna work. There we go. These are all the books that I read in January. Now, let's move on to all the books that I want to read. Thank you for kicking me. In February. I feel like I'm talking like rapid fire, like bash, bash, bomb, bomb, bomb. Honestly, I'm like on something else right now. I don't even know how to explain. I have a bunch of books that I want to read in Feb. If we're going to get through all of these, I actually have no idea, but I would like to. So I'm going to talk about these first, and then I'll talk about the ones I want to read on Kindle Unlimited, because I'm obsessed with Kindle. And I haven't even checked, so we're going to go through that together. And I was also going to check what new releases were going to come out. Oh, that's the one that needs to go on my TBR. Okay, I'm going to start off with the most obvious one, because obviously it wasn't on my wrap up, so of course it's going to be on my TBR. I have yet to read this book. Guys, it's kind of scaring me. It's really, really scaring me, but I know I need to read it, because I've been avoiding social media for all the spoilers, because apparently people have put spoilers on it. I've been like scrolling past anybody that is reacting to this book, speaking about this book, breathing this book. I'm like, no, I don't want to know anything. So I know I have to read it this month, and I think it might be my next read. It has, sorry Nala, it has to be my next read, because I cannot avoid, I don't think I can avoid anymore. I'm terrified though, I'm so scared. Like what is this gonna be? Like what is gonna happen? I'm terrified. The way the last one went off, no, I don't even want to read the back. I don't, but like, art in it, beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, and she's got cake. What are they celebrating? No, already now, like thinking about it, my stomach just dropped. Like, I'm so anxious to read this book. Oh no. Okay, this is the first one. This is like, I have to read this month. I've also got Bewitched as well on it, which was originally on my autumn TBR, but I never got around to reading it. I know it's about like witches, and is it just witches or is it something else? Oh, it's like curses and something about like somebody thinking our main character is their dead wife, like something like that. But I saw people really liked it and said it was good, and also like it's floppy. And I have a few books by this author actually that I want to get through and read, but this is the one that's just been jumping at me and being like, read me, you know. That's, I just put it on. Hopefully we can read it. I don't really know. Obviously put on King of Sloth, because I have yet to finish the Kings of Sin series, and I really want to read this one before the next one comes out. King of Envy comes out soon. Can't remember when, but it comes out soon, and I need to read this beforehand. This one's about Xavier and Salome. I'm currently in the middle of reading Striker as well, and that has mentions of Xavier and Salome, and I'm like, I need to read it. When it first mentioned Salome in the Striker though, I didn't put the connections in that this is her, because obviously like Kings of Sin and the Striker are like two different series, but they're in the same world. So I was a bit dumb on that, but yeah, as soon as like her name and I recognised who she was, and when they were talking about the other characters, I was then like, oh yeah, I need to read this. So I need to read this. Obviously, I've had to put a hockey romance on it. I've got Clyde. I also want to read Behind the Net, but I've left it over there, so I'll put a picture up. I want to read these ones because guess what? I'm going to go to a hockey match. I'm going to go watch ice hockey in a few days, like in 2 days. So this video will go out after I've watched ice hockey, and I'm so excited. I am so excited. Me and my friend just decided on a whim that we were gonna go. I'm freaking out, like actually freaking out. I don't know if I'm gonna film it. I don't know. I might do a TikTok. I don't know. Like, look at me trying to do TikToks. Jeez. I don't know. But I want to read more hockey romances, and I kind of want to read a hockey romance while I'm going. We'll say that, we'll see, because obviously I need to, well actually no, I do. I want to read a hockey romance, so I might read Collide. I think it has the college romance as well, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'm obsessed. I love a hockey romance. It's my comfort read. It's where I go, and this one I've seen a few times and people like it. So yeah, my main thing is though with my TBR that I want to try and start doing is start reading books that I want to read, not following trends or following people being like hyping up books and things, because I do tend to fall into that net of only reading books that are talked about a lot instead of like trying new authors and trying other sort of genres and other things. So that's what I've tried to do, but I do fall into the scope of picking books that I see a lot of and people recommending, which is nothing bad, but I kind of want to discover my own books. But anyway, I've also put The Daughter of the Siren Queen on there because I did read The Daughter of the Pirate King like 2 years ago, and I need to read this book. I need to finish it. I need to do it, or it's never going to get done. I generally cannot remember what happened in the second one. I remember bits and pieces of it, but obviously it's going to be following along straight after the first book, and I can't remember if the main love interest in that, if they had a falling out or not, but I put it on. I need to read it. I probably need some motivation to read it, so if any of you have read it, I know my sister has and she said it was really good, please help me. I need help. Yeah. Divine Rivals I put on there as well. Academia. I don't think it's dark academia though, but I really want to read like some dark academia stuff because I think that would be really cool. But I've got Divine Rivals on here. I think it's another enemies to lovers thing. I don't really know much about this book except from the fact that I was intrigued. But the thing is, I never actually saw it on any social media. I must have seen some, but I always just gravitated towards it and being like, I really want to read this book. Why, I don't know, because I know nothing about it, but I just really want to read it. So I finally have got the physical copy and have been meaning to read it this month, but never got around to it. So it's on this month. And it says at the back, no god, no creature, no war can come between them. Is it fantasy as well? Oh, I would love that. Anyway, we have this one. And then, obviously, of course, I put Foxglove on. I'm so excited. I am so excited. The way Belladonna left off, like, hello, you cannot introduce that character to me and then leave. Like, no. And also, like, just with what happened at the end of that book, I need to know what happens. And also like finding out what else happens with Signa and Death. Like, how do they navigate that? Because the reason why they were able to see each other a lot was because of this whole thing they were trying to solve. And now they've solved it, what's gonna happen? I don't know. So I instantly went out and bought, well, actually I didn't buy this book, somebody else bought this book for me, but I need to read it. I need to read it so bad. It says at the top, what's wrong, love? Afraid I'll ruin you? I'm freaking out. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. Anyway, these are all the books that, oh no, these are all my physical books that I want to read in Feb. But if we went onto Kindle, let's have a look at some Kindle books that are recommended to me and we'll have a talk. I have my iPad because I only look at Kindle books on my iPad because they're in colour and they're bigger and they're nicer. So I've been talking so much, I've now got hiccups. Okay, right, first one that has popped up actually on my books you may like is Phantom by H.D. Carlton, which is, what are you about? What are you? Hello. So, oh my days, it's about an actual phantom. What I would presume so. Like, it says phantom. Stalker. So this is what it said. November 12th, 1944. This house holds on to souls for a lifetime. I thought I had given it to my husband when I vowed to love him until the end of time. I lied. Nothing could have prepared me for the day my phantom appeared outside my window. He was terrifying, yet hypnotizing, and I couldn't deny my intrigue. I never intended to fall into a whirlwind romance with my stalker, especially because he's so much more than that. A criminal, a mobster, the man who offers me solace from the monster in Parsons Manor. There are many that haunt these halls, yet it's only my husband I fear. What does that mean? Okay. I want to read it now. It's not that long. I think it's just under 400 pages. The next one I do want to read is City of Gods and Monsters. I put this on my one for 2025 in general, but I'm desperate to get into this book. It is so long though. It's like nearly 800 pages long. I'm gonna need to like reserve time for this book. But generally it looks so good. I wish like they gave like the tropes. Oh, she does. So third person POV, dual POV, first one in the series. It's a new adult urban fantasy romance, vampires, werewolves, witches, demons and more. Mental health rep, morally grey characters, grumpy ex-sunshine, bodyguard trope, close proximity, touch and die vibes, slow burn romance, bad boy, good girl, found family. I'm obsessed. I'm so excited to read that book. And then obviously I do want to read with the rest of the Zodiac Academy as well. I can't remember what the next one is called. What's the next one called? Yeah, the next one is called Ruthless Fae. I obviously want to read that. I want to read as many Zodiac Academy books as I possibly can. And then also another one that is actually jumping out at me that I really want to read. Oh, it's right there. Is Anathema. I don't know what this book is about. I think it's fantasy as well. Is it fantasy? Are you fantasy? It's a dark gothic romance. Again, it's like 700 pages long. Why am I always picking books that are like ridiculously long? But it is a full-length gothic dark fantasy, the first book in a duology, perfect for readers who enjoy a plot-heavy and atmospheric story with a unique magic system, slow burn romance, and a touch of horror. I haven't read a horror book. I would really like to get into horror books. I think that would be so cool to read, but also terrifying. Like terrifying. Another one that keeps jumping out at me is Fairytale, which is another dark gothic fantasy. Also Death's Obsession, which is a dark paranormal dark romance. I read this one in a book. I generally think it was in Leather and Lark or something like that, that he was listening to the audiobook of Death's Obsession, and I was like, yep, I'm now reading it. I am now reading it. But I think that's pretty much all of the books on Kindle I want to read. Generally on Kindle it's just whatever I can find that I'm like, I want to read that. I'd never really plan Kindle. It generally is mood reading whenever I'm there. I'm trying to think, is there any books getting released this month that I've forgotten about? Annie Hazelwood is Deep End is getting released. Oh, I'm reading that. And also the third book after Butcher and Blackbird, Scythe and Sparrow, I think that's how you say it, Scythe, is coming out as well this month. So those are 2 new releases that I really want to read. Oh my god, such good books for this month. I want to see how many I can get through and read. We definitely need to get back into the Eilidh mindset of beginning of the year, because I was whizzing through books so quickly and I need to get back into that, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video. Let me know what your first book of the year was and what you were planning on reading in February, because I'm genuinely curious what you guys are reading. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace. Goodbye.